This is an extra video, and hmm, I I feel quite embarrassing with myself that I hmm what uh that I can read, and I can read and understand what people writing about, but somehow I am still cannot I still cannot I still cannot speak English in a correct way. I keep I keep messing up my grammar, and that is frustrating. Frustrating. Well, not actually frustrating because I know that I'm not practiced that much. Well, when it comes to speaking, when it comes to pronouncing and everywhere with everything like that, that's why, and you can see that my English, my speaking skill is suck. And I even want to use the word self because I keep using that one every single time I talk about this issue, this problem, this matter of fact. Um, but okay, since I already know that I'm terrible at this, let's get back with the reading out loud a piece of writing that I wrote the other day about cooking. Today, my parents and sister had some errand. Errand. Today, my parents and sister had some errands in the morning, so I was the one. So I was the one in charge. With of the kitchen. Since it was just me and my younger brother at home, we took turns looking after the house. I find it fascinating how easily life flows when people completely understand each other and reach a compromise. We agree. We agree to rotate our duties without a single long winding argument. Then when he took the laundry upstairs, I watched the house. When I went to the mini market, he watched the house. When I was in the kitchen, when I was in the kitchen, he stepped in to pack the instant delivery orders because I'm the one managing my sister's Shopee shops. Again, not a single argument. We just keep silent and got things done. It's been a few years since I last stepped into the kitchen. There was no awkwardness because my sister had suggested the menu early that morning. She said, let's have some chicken simmered with Vietnamese coriander. That sounds weird. I, where is it? Coriander. And you don't seem to understand. Coriander with Vietnamese coriander and seaweed soup, plus some dried tofu for the little brother. I agree instantly. I'm quite familiar with those dishes and I like eating them too. That was at 6:50 a.m. An hour later, my brother and I were watching a dinosaur documentary on Netflix. He was eating mango and I was finishing up. He was eating mango and I was finishing up a cup of iced coffee from the only coffee cart I'm obsessed with while crunching on the ice. This is the only time of the day I drink cold water because I quit soda and milk tea entirely. My brother urged me to eat some mango too, but I say, are you crazy? I'm drinking iced coffee and you want me to eat mango? I mean, iced coffee and mango. That sounds like a total disaster for the stomach. He laughed and stopped bothering me. Besides, who eat who eat mango for the morning anyway? Besides, who eat mango for the morning anyway? Anyway, at 8 a.m. I went to the market regarding the menu just in case you forgot. It was chicken with Vietnamese coriander, seaweed soup, and dried tofu. My brother frowned and said, "Dried tofu? It's too hot today to eat dried tofu. It's exhausting." So I crossed it off the list. I asked Gemini to help me with the shopping list and it pointed out some detail about cold and warm properties. Properties? Okay. Cold and warm property. Cold and warm property in food. Things I seen thing I have seen a million times but never really cared about. Gemini mentioned Gemini mentioned that seaweed is cold in nature, so using warm ginger makes the soup feel much more comforting for the stomach. This isn't really about nutrition, but rather the body's reaction when eating. Oh, it's so hot. When I looked up recipe, I saw that people. When I look up recipes, I saw that people really do use gingers. When I look up recipe, I saw that people really do use ginger. Just a tiny amount finely minced and added when the water starts boiling. The flavor, the flavor of ginger is like a cup of warm water sliding from your tongue down to your throat, and warming up your stomach. It should stay subtle to leave room for the seaweed, which has a light and clean taste. Perfect after your stomach is filled with rice and chicken. Oh, and I almost forgot the main dish. I could not find Vietnamese coriander at the mini market, so I bought fresh shiitake mushrooms instead. Mushrooms are also cold, not cold. In nature, it's it balance between cold and warm, which is not cold, not warm, just between that. Mushroom uh, mushroom had a mild flavor similar to seaweed, but the cool thing is that when you braise them with chicken, but the cool thing when you I got the red green braise. But the cool thing is that when you braise them with chicken, they soak up all the juice and spice, becoming incredibly savory. The most satisfying feeling is the most satisfying feeling is eating a where the line. Hmm. Yeah. The most satisfying feeling is eating a bowl of hot rice with chicken that has been simmered until the sauce is thick and the meat easily falls off the bone. You take a bite of a mushroom cut in half. It's bursting with sauce, but still has that firm chewy texture. But still has that firm chewy texture instead of being mushy. You take you take a spoonful you take a spoonful of rice of white rice, a piece of chicken, and a mushroom. The salty sweetness of the reduced sauce, uh, the salty sweetness of the reduced sauce, the chewiness of the mushroom, the solid feeling of the protein and rice, plus the warm aftertaste of black pepper and the hints of chili. It balance everything. Then you take a sip of soup. Then you take a sip of soup and feel the faint warmth of ginger, followed by the crunch of seaweed and the richness and the richness of tofu, of white tofu. That is where I feel the whole cold warm balance. It's absolute wonderful, wonderful, wonderful.